Morning, folks. Getting ready to go to a doctor appointment and gotta have my coffee first. Anyway, what I thought I would do is I don't want to just keep making videos about Kiely's case just to, make videos, you know what I'm saying? Or try to get clicks or whatever. Um, there's really nothing new that I have to share on that other than, still pursuing the things that I talked about in my live, and also working with other people. Some people have asked me to come on their panels, so I will be doing that. And of course, we will be having a live on Friday night. We're going to be discussing the concert. I was on the phone with Butterfly McCoy yesterday, and we were talking about it. And we both are in total agreement on that we should not try to have this in California with the things that are going on, because we don't know how deep all of this goes. So what we're going to try to do is pick a more neutral spot, maybe even in the Midwest somewhere, or maybe I was thinking about Arizona, even though it's not really Midwest, but somewhere more central where more people can make it and don't have to fly clear across the country to get to it. And the thing is that it's going to be, regardless of where we have it, it's going to be worldwide, because we're going to be streaming it, hopefully streaming it on several different platforms. And so if you're planning on going, or if you're planning on being a musician at that, you guys need to start emailing me, because I haven't gotten any emails. I've asked a couple of times now to let me know, send me your information so we can get this, because I'm going to start a spreadsheet of all the people that want to go and the dates that they're available, and then try to pick the best date when the most people can go. But I can't do that if you don't send me the information. So anyway, what I would thought I would do was, like I did yesterday, kind of like a safety tip type of thing. So I thought I would do that. I'm not saying I'm not going to do any more. If I get any more information or any updates on Kiely's case, we'll sure do that. But I just don't want to be making videos, just like I said, just to make videos. So, I mean, basically, I look at what everybody's discussing for the most part, and it's the same stuff over and over and over. And I just don't want to be redundant. I know I've been redundant somewhat, but I don't want to take it to extremes. So, but when I do have any new information, I'll sure let you know. So this morning, what I wanted to discuss, and this is mostly for the parents of teenagers, all right, and particularly teenage girls, because I think this is something that mom and dad need to really police, because you may not be aware of what's going on. I was working with a youth group at a church. This was in Montana. Hey, stop it. Sorry. I was working with a youth group in Montana, and this one girl, she was 16 years old, very beautiful young girl, and just super sweet gal. And I had warned the youth group about this and told them, you should not do this, right? I have seen so many of these kids on Facebook, mostly on Facebook. It's mostly people from my church or my neighborhood or my town that I know, their parents. And what they're doing, they're posting a bunch of information. Okay, like, how Google will, do your location, right? And what it shows is that you go to like their Facebook page, and it'll show was here at this time, was here at this time, was here at this time. All right? Do you know how easy that is for a perpetrator, a pedophile, to track a person's patterns? They go to this, like, say, Burger King or whatever it is, every day at 3:30. They start seeing that. They start seeing a pattern. They start seeing that this person went there every day, went here every day. It establishes a pattern for anybody to follow where they are. But you see that all the time. You see that, and Google automatically posts that a lot of times on there. It's not something that they have to post themselves. Another thing that I've seen that they do on there, post way too much personal information. Post their address, post their phone number, as all their personal information on there. That is stupid and dangerous. Parents, don't let your kids do that, man. That's not, that's not cool at all. All right, let me also point out that this youth group that I was working with, it was in a very small town. I mean, basically, its downtown consisted of like a general store and a post office across the street. And that was pretty much it. All right, so we're not talking a metropolis here. So this can happen anywhere. Well, anyway, this gal was corresponding. This guy was, hitting her up, and talking and chatting her up, and claimed to be, I can't remember how old he claimed to be, 17, 18. And they were chatting her up, and anyway, as it turned out, the guy turned out to be 39 years old. Of course, posing as a 17, 18-year-old, whatever, 16, 17, I can't remember how old. So, anyway, this guy was in Michigan, right? In Michigan, and she was in Montana. This guy ended up flying into Billings, Montana. This town was just outside Billings a little ways. This guy flew into Montana. He ended up at her house. Somehow he figured out where her bedroom was. And he was trying to break in through the window. Well, the girl just happened to still be awake, and this was like in the middle of the night, but she'd woken up, and she heard something outside her window. And she kind of went and looked. She kind of like peeked out of the curtain just a little bit, saw this guy outside. Went and called 911. And luckily there was a deputy not too far away, because this town was, of course, way too small to have its own police department. The sheriff's office, was the law enforcement out there. But anyway, a deputy showed up, caught this guy outside the window. Turns out that the guy, they found out this guy from Michigan, did a little bit more research on him, found out that he was the guy who she was corresponding with, that she thought was the same age group as her. Scary. Very, very scary. And let me tell you what, when I went in that next Sunday and was teaching their class and telling them not to do this, not to put your information out there, oh, let me tell you, this time they listened. When the girl was, I even had the girl get up and tell them what happened. I mean, a lot of her close friends already knew, but I had her get up and tell what happened, and these kids are just sitting there, just like, yeah. So, mom and dad, don't let your kids. I don't care if they're 16, 17, whatever. Don't let them go online unmonitored. If you have to, there are programs that you can put on a phone, on a computer, where you can monitor everything. You can monitor every keystroke. You can monitor every site they go to. If they get in a chat with someone, you can monitor that. And I would advise you doing that. Don't let them know, though. Don't let them know. But there are programs where you can do that. So don't let them go on there unmonitored because it's dangerous. Don't let them be putting their phone number and address and locations that they visit on Facebook. It's dangerous. I know of other instances, not personally, but just instances I've heard of or read of, where people have used that, where they've tracked the person's pattern, this location, this location, this location. Figure out, okay, this person's going to be here at this time. They come here at the same time every day. As an example. And so I know other cases where bad guys end up going after this young girl. And you've got a lot of posers on there, people. You've got a lot of posers on there. All right? I got on there and was a poser trying to catch pedophiles. I got on there, I was posing as, I think it was a 15 or 16-year-old girl, and I was pretty good at it, too. Because I was around them all the time. I knew how they talked, how they acted. I'd get on there, and we actually caught, and there was another guy that I know, that he set up a meeting with this guy at this park. It was like at, like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? And the guy was posing as a 14-year-old girl. And this guy, I don't remember if he was actually lying about his age or whatever, but he wasn't all that super. He was like 22, 23, something like that. Well, anyway, she set up a meeting with this guy, and the guy showed up at the park, and they had a meeting, all right, meeting in handcuffs. They ended up busting the guy, and it turns out that this was kind of like a habitual offender. That he tried this with a bunch of different girls, but apparently this was the first one that agreed to meet up with him. Of course, it was a 30-year-old guy, not a 14-year-old girl. Surprise! 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 As Gomer would say. Yeah, he had a big surprise. So anyway, mom and dad, watch what your kids do. Monitor them, all right? You're not their friend. You're the parent. Don't let them just go off scot-free doing whatever they want to. All right? You're responsible for their safety. Make sure you know what they're doing on there. And I don't care how good. My daughter would never do that. My son would never do that. Bull. There's a lot of things that I did that my mom, I remember one time, this was like probably after I was 30 years old, we were having a family get together, and mom started telling me, I knew you do this. I knew you do this. I knew you do this. Okay. All right. So I started telling her all the things that she didn't know. I kind of burst her bubble a little bit. Yeah, this is, and she's kind of like, I guess I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. Mm-hmm. How you like me now? So anyway, parents, be serious about this. Protect your kids. Protect your kids. If Kiely had been protected the way she should have been, she'd have never been at that party. You don't let a 16-year-old girl go to a party where there's a bunch of alcohol and drugs. That's just idiocy. Yeah, and look what happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If that isn't a lesson, I don't know what is. All right. Catch you later, folks. Have a great day.